Paul's Honchkrow was nothing short of a Blackwing Devil. With its piercing glare and ruthless fighting style, it embodied Paul's belief in strength without mercy. Honchkrow's time in the anime may have been brief, but it left a lasting impact on Torterra, Staraptor, and Paul himself. More than anything, it positioned Paul as Ash's dark reflection. While Staraptor's sword is a symbol of Ash's resilience, Honchkrow mirrored Paul's cold pursuit of power. Hi, I'm Professor Silver, and today I'll chronicle the history of Paul's Honchkrow, tracking its rise from Murkrow into one of the most feared flying types in the anime. This video is sponsored by Manta Sleep. They make premium, fully adjustable sleep masks built for dark types. If you've never tried one before, the holidays are a perfect time. What makes Manta different is the customization. Most sleep masks just offer a flat piece of fabric pressing on your eyes. Manta, on the other hand, uses memory foam eye cups that you can move anywhere along the head strap. You can literally build your perfect mask layout. Once you dial it in, it fits the same every night, no pressure, no shifting, and absolutely no light. It's a total blackout experience, but without the hangover. The masks are plush without being heavy, breathable without feeling flimsy, and secure without squeezing your head. Best of all, they have different masks to cover every type of sleeper. There's cooling masks for hot nights, weighted masks for instant relaxation, sound masks if you like audio while you drift off, and so much more. So if you're ready for better sleep, click the first link in the description and use code SILVER for 10% off. If you order before Black Friday ends on November 27th, that jumps to 15% off site-wide, plus a free holiday recharge kit. And now back to Honchkrow. Technically speaking, Honchkrow debuted as a Murkrow in the very first episode of Diamond and Pearl. Alongside Paul, it featured in the opening theme of all the saga's early episodes. By the time Murkrow finally appeared in top-down training, it had already been seen 40 times, making it feel like one of Paul's signature Pokemon. Across the franchise, Murkrow often belonged to hard-hearted rivals. In the manga, it was one of Silver's signature partners, and since many believe Paul was modeled after Silver, its inclusion couldn't have been more fitting. Just as Elekid rivaled Pikachu and Chimchar foiled Turtwig, Murkrow paralleled Ash's Starly, and like its flying rival Starly, its first battle was a one-sided loss. Cynthia's Garchomp dodged Haze, weathered Sky Attack, and finished it with Giga Impact. The loss, however, was actually intentional. Paul had only used Murkrow so as to bait Garchomp into using a recharge move. In doing so, he allowed Torterra to strike unimpeded. While Murkrow recovered, Paul revealed it had been caught sometime during his travels in Kanto, Johto, and Hoenn. From there, Murkrow became a staple of Paul's team. As one of his most trusted Pokemon, it struck Chimchar in an effort to activate Blaze and Glory Blaze, and attacked Gligar in riding the Winds of Change. When Lost Leader Strategy aired, Murkrow was revealed to have evolved into Honchkrow prior to Paul's Veilstone Gym battle. With brutal efficiency, it tore through Maylene's Meditite and Machoke. Ironically, those same Pokemon later fell to Staravia, underscoring how closely Ash and Paul's stories intertwined. Truth be told, gym dominance was just the start of Honchkrow's rise. In aiding the enemy, Honchkrow demolished Ash's Turtwig in a one-on-one. Although Turtwig landed Energy Ball and dodged Sky Attack, he couldn't match Honchkrow's speed. Night Slash and Aerial Ace arrived with such force that Turtwig was forced to evolve into Grotle just to keep up. Sadly for him, the evolution backfired. Grotle's bulk made him clumsy, leaving Honchkrow free to win their battle with Sky Attack and Dark Pulse. After that, Honchkrow's ferocity carried into pursuing a lofty goal. At the Squallville Pokaringer, it competed as Paul's ace flyer. Unlike most battles, the Pokaringer tested aerial skill just as much as strength. In the opening round, Honchkrow faced reigning champion Provo and his Dragonite. Despite Dragonites winning the 4 previous competitions, Honchkrow dodged Dragon Pulse and Fire Punch, shrugged off Dragon Rush, and claimed victory with Sky Attack. The win made Paul the competitor to watch, and also demystified Dragonite as a species. Up until that point, Dragonite were near legendary brawlers who could only be beaten by the combined efforts of many Pokemon. As the Pokaringer continued, Honchkrow defeated Swellow and Skiploom before facing Ash's Staravia in the finals. At first, the battle was one-sided. Honchkrow shrugged off Brave Bird, hammered away with Night Slash and Dark Pulse, and used Aerial Ace to steal the ring it needed to win. Even when Staravia fought back, Honchkrow answered with Sky Attack and sent him plummeting with Night Slash. Right as victory seemed inevitable, Staravia evolved into Staraptor. From there, Staraptor cleaned house. He unleashed close combat, pushed through Night Slash, and surged ahead to seize the win. The upset marked Paul's first loss to Ash. True to form, Paul pinned the blame not on himself, but Honchkrow's slow reaction time. The loss was more than just a blemish on Paul's record. It was actual proof of Ash's philosophy in action. Paul once dismissed Ash's Starly as weak, yet that same Pokemon had evolved and defeated his Honchkrow. Ash's victory stood as undeniable evidence that compassion and trust could forge true strength. In Pedal to the Metal, Honchkrow redeemed itself at Lake Acuity by clobbering Grotle. Ash kept Grotle in the fight out of loyalty, but that decision played directly into Paul's hands. He was counting on Ash's bond with his Pokemon to cloud his judgment, and Honchkrow made him pay. It weaved through Razor Leaf, struck with Night Slash, endured Energy Ball, and covered the field with Haze. When Grotle tried to recover with Synthesis, Honchkrow cut it down with another Night Slash and ended the match with Sky Attack. Following the showdown, Honchkrow faded into the background, only surfacing briefly and battling a thaw in relations to reflect on Paul's Sinnoh League loss and share its eagerness to battle again. Missing the league robbed Honchkrow of the chance to further shape Staraptor and Torterra's stories. Defeating Staraptor could have proven Paul's methods were just as adaptable as Ash's, while losing to Torterra would have given the grass type the win he needed to cement his legacy. Either outcome would have elevated Ash and Paul's rivalry to new heights. Instead, Honchkrow's arc ended on a great win for itself, but without the narrative closure that it might have provided to other Pokemon. Since the league, Honchkrow has likely only grown stronger. I imagine it's defeated many competitors to Paul's gym, and reminded many a trainer why it's considered one of Paul's most lethal Pokemon. As that concludes Honchkrow's history, let's tackle its battle record. Honchkrow defeated Maylene's Meditite, Maylene's Machoke, Ash's Grotle, Provo's Dragonite, Swellow, and Skiploom. It lost to Cynthia's Garchomp and Ash's Staraptor. Move-wise, Honchkrow used Aerial Ace, Haze, Dark Pulse, Night Slash, Shadow Ball, and Sky Attack. Overall, I loved Honchkrow as a character because it perfectly reflected Paul's personality. Both were cold and commanding, yet sensitive underneath the surface. Honchkrow's unique moveset made every battle exciting, and its presence pushed Ash's team to grow in ways few rival Pokemon ever did. Unlike normal flying types, Honchkrow carried a menacing edge that made it unforgettable. For me, it wasn't just another one of Paul's Pokemon. It was one of the clearest mirrors of his rivalry with Ash. On that, class is adjourned. I want to give a big thanks again to Mantis Sleep. Get a mask for yourself at 10% off by clicking the first link in the description. I'm Professor Silver. Until next time, catch you later.